Greetings, everyone. I'm Tanya Love, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Tanya Love Show. I just first of all wanted to thank all of you that wrote me and just were sending love to me and my family last week since we canceled the show is after I had to assist my sweet soul sister Shiva in leaving her body. And it was really interesting emotional time for me because she and I were so close. And I just want to thank all of you for taking time to honor her and to just send love to me as well. So thank you so much for that and for being patient while I took a week off. Um, I really felt that taking that week off was important for myself because, for one, I didn't think Amnon wanted to hear me cry for an hour. So I just figured I would just do that by myself. And so I did. And I feel that as humans, it's really important that we honor our emotions and that we allow ourselves to feel whatever is rising. And as it was coming up for me, I just felt like the most important thing for me was some time in nature. So I went hiking and I just went to places that made me think of my dog and, really honored her and had a good cry and released all the attachment to her form. Because as humans, we love these forms. We love the forms of our beloved, our children, our animals, and that's natural. That's a normal thing that we would love that. But there's also a level of balance where when it's time to let go, there's a wisdom in honoring that for ourselves and for the soul that's now transitioning into a new form. And so I felt like not only was that important for me to take that time off for myself, but like I've always said, like I really feel that the way I live my life is kind of shining an example and mirroring to others so that it can help them see that they have permission um, to also choose that for themselves. And a lot of clients that I work with, they have shared with me how much they struggle in honoring what they need. And, I've had some clients recently come to me and they're like, "Oh, I really want to work with you. I want to come to your workshops, but, I don't know if my husband would approve, or I don't know, my children might think I'm weird, or my friends might think I'm a weirdo." And I just feel that so many times during the day we're giving opportunities to honor ourselves and to really be true to ourselves. And it's really important that we listen to that and that we honor what we need. And so I felt like my taking that week off was not only beneficial for myself and for my family to grieve and to heal, but it was a really amazing opportunity for me to shine that example of that nothing else is more important than our soul's alignment. Um, Many of us will think, "Oh, my work is so important and I have to work, 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 even though I'm sick," or, "I just lost my mother, but I don't have time to grieve, got to go get busy." And I really feel that that is what causes so much of the anxiety and the stress in our society is that we have gotten so far away from just the natural alignment and the natural balance of things. And I hope that my example can encourage each of you to choose yourself and to choose to honor what you really need to do and to honor what you're feeling and what you're needing to process and move through, especially in connection with grief. Because from my observation, I've grieved in the past, like after my father's suicide, it took me years to get through that. And I was just clinging and attached to, a lot of guilt and worry and sadness about why did it have to be this way. And I found that the more we just honor what we're feeling and we allow ourselves to cry, we allow ourselves to feel, we move through the process much more quickly, more naturally, and more peacefully. And really, it's up to each of us how long we choose to grieve, how long we choose to stay stuck in an emotion. Um, if you remember past shows, I've talked about emotions are just like the clouds in the northwest. They're moving by quickly, and we don't want to be attached to our emotions. We want to actually understand that they're just an energy moving through. And so, with the example of my dog getting sick and her body's failing her, and I know that I have to help her to be free, the emotion of sadness was here, and I had to feel that emotion and to honor it and then let it pass because it didn't need to stay. I don't need to stay connected to that feeling of sadness. I can just understand that this is an energy that's here, and I'm going to honor this energy and I'm going to allow it to move through me. But I don't need to affirm it's who I am because I've heard people like I am sad, I am depressed, I am, sick, I'm this, and we start making these emotions very solid and we start to attach and identify our very existence with them. And that's where we get into trouble. That's where we create a lot of unnecessary suffering. So maybe that's just, my life experience could have the opportunity to touch some other lives and help them to also honor themselves. And I had so many people writing me stories about their pets and how much their pets meant to them. And what was so beautiful is I just feel so many of us have these creatures in our world, these cats and dogs and bunnies and birds, and they're these amazing spirits that are here with us for a short time. And with in the case of my dog Shiva, she is just such an amazing soul, and I've always known it. And many people would even comment on how she's just not like a normal dog. It's like she doesn't even think she's a dog. And some people would had a problem with that. Some people would just be like, she's so entitled, and she just thinks she's like a queen. And I just found it interesting to observe everyone's take on Shiva. But the way I felt with her is that she was a goddess and she knew it. And she was such a healer. And she would always want to be with me when I would be teaching my yoga classes. Like the yoga students and I were laughing the other night, just thinking of her and remembering how there was times we were annoyed with her. Like I'm trying to teach a class and she's walking across the hardwood floors with her little nails clacking on the floor, and times where she'd go up with her sometimes not so great breath and try to breathe on the students and they're just like go away. And so she had her moments, but she was such an amazing healer and she loved to be in the presence of everything I was doing. If I was teaching a workshop, if I was working with a healing client, she wants to be right under the table and sitting in the room while they're crying and working through their emotions. She'd just stare into their eyes as they pet her, and she just always offered comfort. And I just felt so much gratitude for the time I had with her because I went through some of the hardest things in my life while she was in my life. And, you know, moving through after my business had closed and the grief of that and the transition of making that choice to leave a 20-year marriage and the thousands of hours of hiking that I did to make that decision. And she was right there, my silent companion at my side. And then the choice after leaving that relationship, she was there as we hit the trail again because we're processing more information. And every time before I would work with clients and I'm out in nature and I'm connecting, Shiva was there with me. And what's cool is since she passed, like a week ago, some fun little thing I wanted to share is I talked to her as I was helping her, prepare to go, and just told her I loved her so much and that I just wanted her to know how honored I was for her to be with me as long as she was, and that I really hoped she would come back to me. And I just asked her to give me signs that she was with me. And a couple days later, I was in my healing room with a client and I'm working with her. And all of a sudden, I heard her tail hitting the floor. And in my mind's eye, I could see her sitting to my right. And right then, I kind of laughed. And my client was like, "Oh, what are you laughing about?" And I just was like, "Oh, I just felt like, I can feel Shiva here." And she started laughing and she's like, "Tawnya, I swear to God, I just heard her tail hitting the floor." And so I thought that was pretty cool because we both heard it and we both knew she was here. And she's given me other signs since, just letting me know she's around. And so maybe just this happening to me is just to help each of you. Some of you maybe are struggling with a sense of loss of someone. And really, what I've been shown is we're never alone and we don't really lose anything. We do miss the form. Like, I will miss holding my little fuzzy, soft puppy, and, I will miss that breath even, and I'll miss the clanking of her toenails. but I still feel her soul with me. I still feel her presence. And I know that her soul will choose a form that is more suitable for the rest of her journey. And I just celebrate that with her. And I really, honor her courage to go on a new journey. And I feel like that's so important for us to each understand the natural process of death and that it's not really the end, but it's just a transition. It's just a shape-shifting opportunity. And we really are shapeshifters. And there will be a time that each of us will choose to leave the form and to shapeshift into a new form that will serve us in a greater way. And so it's nothing really to be afraid of, but it is something to be honored and celebrated. And so I just wanted to thank each of you for joining me in honoring her and just in the love that you sent to me and my family, because that really helped us a lot. And yeah, we cried a lot, and I'm sure I'll cry again. There's going to be times that I'll just think of her and I do miss her, but at the same time, I sense her presence, and I just felt like it was important to talk about that. And so, on that note, this week, what came to me because of all these things going on over the past couple weeks, I feel like what Spirit's really been teaching me and helping me understand so that I can help encourage others that are ready to understand that is the power of surrender. And so today that's really the topic is the art of surrender and what that is. And so for each of us, we're going to have these moments where it will really greatly serve us to learn to go with the flow and to really surrender and live in trust. And it's not, none of us are immune to this. And really, from my observation, the humans that suffer the most are the ones that feel the most in need to control life, to control the flow, to control others, to control everything. And that control, that need for control, truly comes from misalignment within the person that's in that space. Because when we feel out of control, when we feel afraid, when we feel intimidated or insecure, when there's ego operating very powerfully in our life, then we have a need to control others. However, if we can acknowledge that in us right now, if we know, wow, I've really been in that place, I've really been lashing out, I've been trying to control other people, I feel so controlling over my own world, we could really tune in and be honest with that. We can catch that and then choose higher thoughts. We can choose higher expression and we can choose higher aligned action. And so living in surrender and living in trust for myself personally has been the most important gift that I've ever been given and really fully understood. And it did take me some time. There was times I was dragging my heels and just, ooh, I didn't like things being changed or taken, and I was kind of pissed off about it. And I used to complain and I used to be angry and, it's now I'm going to blame somebody else because how dare them? And the more that I've been shown and taught that everything happens to us, everything comes to us for a greater purpose and a higher reason. And as we can tune into that purpose and that higher intention, we really can start to understand that this universe that is here supporting all of us, each of us, the universe is supporting our growth, it's supporting our evolution. And if we can learn to really tune into that support and trust that as situations flow to us, they're here to help us. They're here to help us to flow and trust and move in new directions. Our lives can become very magical and very beautiful I can't talk, as opposed to our past behavior and conditioning of control, where I refuse to let this happen. I am going to control this situation and I'm going to lash out at anybody who gets in my way. And that behavior really creates more suffering for the one that's in that space. And honestly, it can create a lot of negativity and suffering for the people in their life. So living in surrender is just basically having a greater trust that there is a support system here in the universe that wants the best for you. And as you can let go of the need to control, as you can let go of the need to dictate and tell life all your plans, you can really see the magic in life. So some of us, some of you watching maybe have, you've been working really hard on a plan, and your logical mind tells you this is going to be good for your career, or this is going to be really good for your health, or this is going to be good for your relationships, or whatever it is. It's going to be good for you. And your logic keeps telling you that you got to stick to this plan. However, your experience is telling you that you're suffering and this doesn't feel right and it feels exhausting and it feels negative and there's no honor. And so there comes this moment in time where we need to have the wisdom to really tune into the experience, to tune into the now, and really be honest with ourselves of what is it that I'm experiencing right now? And what is it that my heart is telling me? Like, what is my heart and soul, my inner voice guiding me to align with at this time? And that takes great courage because so many, when they're in fear and they're wanting to control life and control their world, they're very much in their mind and they're very much externally focused and they're on the hamster wheel, spinning, 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 keeping really busy. And that conditioned habit to do that is really not serving us. And it's usually exhausting us. And what, started as just a little irritation builds to greater anger, greater tension and stress, and then people become sick. They start having issues in their bodies. And really, if we can just get back to a place of honoring our body, of honoring our soul, and taking the time to pause, taking the time to rest when we need it, um, getting away from all the busyness when we really have soul searching work to address, it's best for us to just go out in nature and be quiet and listen and really listen to the whispers of our soul, because the inner voice, the intuitive voice, is always speaking truth to you. It is always guiding you in the direction of your soul's highest alignment. And it's very rarely listened to by most humans. Most of us are listening to the louder tantrum of the ego voice. And that tantrum voice is always demanding more. It's always in lack. It's always insecure. It's always threatened, competitive, telling you fearful things, trying to push you harder, telling you that you're not good enough, so why even bother? I mean, it's the full spectrum of emotion and the full spectrum of the energy of lack. If you want to get real simple, when you're in ego, there is a sense of lack in something. And when you come into alignment and you really are tuning into your higher wisdom, the higher wisdom voice in you, your inner voice, your intuition, will guide you and show you that you have everything you need right now. And it will guide you to help you understand the solutions to your questions. The solutions to your so-called problems are right there inside. And so for a lot of us, I feel we're in a space where we really need to honor stillness. We need to honor doing nothing, the time of beingness, just spending time daily in quiet, in meditation, walking in nature. I say this all the time because it's true. And the more that we can honor that need in us to be still and to quiet everything down, I promise you that as each of you shift this habit of busyness to come into stillness and listen, you're going to feel the direction. You're going to feel the flow. Just about every client that I've seen, this is the message the angels bring through, is their minds are busy. Their minds are negative. Most of you think the most terrible thoughts about yourself. And your angels and your guides love you and they support you and they think they think so highly of us. There's just pure unconditional love there. There's not judgment. I had a client recently, and I won't share her name, but I've had many clients, and I had a client recently that came in and I was addressing some abuse that I sensed in her sexual organs, that I was shown that she had been abused and that there was a lot of lower vibrational energies that were blocking in her sexual organs. And so we were discussing this, and she just looks at me and she's like, it's because when I was younger, I was a big old slut. And I was just like, whoa. And then she's like, it's okay. You can tell me if the angels think I'm a big slut. And I honestly laughed because to me that was kind of funny. But what I explained to her was that her angels never have thought that about her. However, the way she sees herself, the way she judges herself, that is exactly what is causing her to suffer. And it's exactly what causes her to keep perpetuating that energy and that behavior because there's some part of her that is loathing inside of herself. There's a part of her that's judging herself so harshly. And angels aren't in that energy. That's not the business of the angelic ones. They do bring us understanding, they bring us wisdom and guidance, but they love us. And even with this, bringing this awareness of her woundedness, it was not to judge her. It was not to say that there was something wrong with her or that she was a bad person. It was just to help her to see the woundedness inside of herself and how she was the one keeping it active. So when we look into the way we think about ourselves and the way we treat ourselves, we are the worst judge of our entire existence. And when we feel negative about ourselves and we judge ourselves, we often can draw the very beings that will convince us that these feelings are true. So we have these external, characters in our movie that will show up to show us, yeah, you think you're worth nothing. I'm here to show you that that's true. I'm here to keep playing that out with you until you realize that you deserve better, until you realize you're actually worthy. So that's my role, and I'm here to just kind of poke at that wound inside of you until you wake up and heal it. And so when we can understand this is what's going on, it can really be an amazing, beneficial opportunity when something comes along to poke at us. Instead of getting angry and reacting and judging it, we can just look in and go, whoa, why is this coming up? Like, what is this energy? Why are these people coming in this way? And then we can tune in and figure out what it is we need to clear. And sometimes people will come and just poke at us just because they want to try to stimulate our ego. And if we've risen above that, it won't work. We'll just look at them and understand exactly what they're doing, and we let it go. Um, I feel like I should pause. Is there any questions or anything, Amnon? Any comments?
Well, let's see.
Feel free to
Uh,
call in if any of you have questions or you want to share, because I'm going to get into something that was happening on Facebook today, and
Car-
I feel like it was really important to address. So if any of you want to call in, you can call in right now to 919-518-9773. So call us if you'd
Car-
like to ask a question.
Carrie Lynn
Okay?
says, "Hi Tanya, I adore Shiva. Love that you are sharing your beautiful story and self. XOXO."
Oh, what was her name?
Carolyn
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. My
and
pleasure.
Ma-
It's just what I'm on the planet to do.
and Mariposa says something in the beginning. She said, "You are so welcome, Tony." I don't know what she was saying that you are so loved. Thank you for taking your time and sharing her with us.
Oh, she talking about Shiva?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's LA Woman who says, "I'm all signed up for instruction and first paddleboard yoga class this Saturday.
Awesome.
I'm finding the right people to assist me with my dream and it's just flowing out of control. Thank you for all you do and say to help me on this journey."
Oh, you're welcome. And I know exactly who that is. One of my soul sisters. So thank you for writing in. Absolutely. My pleasure. And I really, truly do appreciate because I had so many loving people like putting up pictures on Facebook of Shiva and sharing stories of how she touched them and just what she meant to them. And my brother sent me these gorgeous pure white flowers, and Shiva was this pure white puppy, and he sent these beautiful flowers, and it was just so honoring. And actually, for people that live locally, on May 20th, I'm actually going to have a memorial service for her kind of not really like a funeral, but more like shamanic drumming circle style. And
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna have a drum circle and honor her life and what she represented and just all the people she touched. And so it's gonna just be like a sacred ceremony for her in nature. And that's just so Shiva. And she will just totally dig everybody there, making it all about her. So it'll be really great. But I thank each of you for the love that you sent, definitely. And she is my soul sister, and she's still with us. And speaking of magic, when I was meditating, there was a time, and this gets back to surrender because I feel this is an important thing to share in regards to being not only being a healer, but also just a mother, a sister, a brother, a husband, a friend. It's going to connect with all of us. But as a healing perspective, there was so much I was doing, and there was so many healers in the community that were sending healing to Shiva. We were all doing our best and working to help her and to help heal her body. And there was a moment after I had this most beautiful connection with her for hours. I was sitting in front of her and just sending her light. And it was just like the room was illuminated with pure love. And I just felt such peace with her. And she was just looking at me and kind of leaning into my energy. And we were just sharing very deeply. Like I had deep eye contact, just telling her how much I loved her, how much I respected and valued her. And after that couple hours of healing, I went upstairs and I laid down to meditate. And I was just asking my angels directly, which I encourage you all to do because you can ask them very direct questions and they will let you know. And the thing is that we humans need to be open to the direct answers. And so I laid down and I was just meditating. I was asking my angels, is there anything else that I can do? Like, can we heal her? Can we help her stay? And the message I got intuitively, the consciousness that streamed in was, it's time to let go, sweet one. And I just started to cry because I knew they would never lie to me. And I knew they were preparing me to let go and that I was to help her transition. And I had a vision in that meditation where I saw my children who, after my divorce, they were living with their father, and there's a whole lot that went on with that situation, but I knew I had to leave and I had to prepare a healthy environment, and that when my children were ready, they would follow if they were ready. And so I just had to stay focused on alignment and doing what felt honorable for myself. And so as I left, I did create the space and Spirit provided everything for me. And in this vision, I saw myself with my children and we were hiking, and Shiva was there. And all of a sudden in the vision, I was crying and I was talking about how much I missed Shiva. And I realized that she was there in spirit, she wasn't there physically. Well, after this meditation, it was just within 2 days, and I had to assist Shiva and in putting her down. And I don't really like that term, putting down, but basically going to the vet and assisting her and helping her soul release from her body. I like to look at it that way. Like I helped her release from her form and to come out of that sick body and to be free. And so within the actually that day of the meditation, my daughter came to visit, and her and I hadn't talked for a while, and she just cried and hugged me and was like, "Mama, I love you so much." And she apologized for things that had happened in the past and things she had said to me. And we just hugged, and I was like, "It's okay. Like I forgave you a long time ago, and I'm just glad you're here, and I'm just glad you can say goodbye to Shiva." And so we really kept it about Shiva. And then the next day my son contacts me, and so this has been a week since Shiva passed. She passed last Sunday. And this weekend, my son moved in with us. And my daughter came and talked to me and said she would like to come live with us part time as well. She just wants to try it here and there. And could she do homework here? And she just said she feels very peaceful in my house and that she needs that. And my son shared the same exact feelings. And so the reason I say this is because my little Shiva is a miracle worker, and we were all praying for miracles, and we were all focused on that miracle, meaning that she stayed in her body. But she is helping with miracles, and my children coming back to me is going to make me cry. But that is an amazing miracle. And I just feel like we all have to see the bigger picture. Sometimes we get caught up in the smallness and we really want to control and like have it work out a certain way. And I even got a little irritated when I knew what Shiva was doing. And I was just like, no, like you don't need to leave your body for this. And she had a purpose. Like my dog's spirit had a greater purpose. And now that she's passed, my children are coming back and our hearts are healing. And we will never forget Shiva, ever. And she knows that. And I feel she will come back to me in some way, and I'm really excited to see how. But I just have so much honor and respect for what she chose. Like, she has taught me so much about what love really is. And I just feel like so many of us as humans have so much to learn from the loyalty and the deep unconditional love of our pets. And like my dog, she was just so unconditionally loving, and that's why she was what I called my soul sister, my best friend. I did not meet very many humans that were as loyal and as faithful, as committed and as loving as she was. And I just feel hopeful that that's what she's taught me, and I can be more like her in every way that I live and every connection I have. So I just salute my soul sister Shiva for that. And I'm really excited that my children are back. And I feel that I've learned so much about, as a healer, when to let go. There's times where if you're a healing spirit and your purpose is here to assist others with healing, like mine, it's like in your DNA to heal, to help with healing. And so everything in us wants to fight to the edge of just making sure, not fight in a negative way, but stand up and really send energy and healing and assist to the edge. Like we're going to give everything we can to help. And there comes that balance where when I knew I had given all I could give and I went and tuned into source and asked and my angels assured me it was time to let go, there was this moment of surrender where I had to let go and realize I wasn't failing and that I had done what I could and that she was choosing to go and that that was her choice. And so it's really important for us as healers and as humans to understand that if a spirit that we love is in a form and that form starts to get sick or it starts to fail in some way or that spirit wants to go, if they want to leave the relationship or they want to leave their body, it's really their right to choose that. We have no right to control the journey of another. And I feel that's why with my children, I did not make them leave with me. I refused to do that. I was just like, that is not in alignment. My children must choose in their time. It's their journey. I feel that that's something I had to work so hard for myself because I had so many people in my life always telling me how I should live and what I should or shouldn't do. And it's really pushed on me to become the spiritual warrior, to really speak with truth and stand up for myself, and to also encourage and educate others in the importance of that for each other because we're really not here to control each other. We're here to assist each other, to bring offer guidance. We're here to love each other, but we're not here to control and possess each other. And in our society, there's so many that they call this love, and it's really twisted. There's not a whole lot of people I've met that really understand love. I feel optimistic that more and more humans will learn what love is, but there's so much room for improvement on true unconditional love and loving in an angelic way instead of in a controlling, possessive way. That's always about fear, and fear cannot be present while love is present. We have to choose one or the other. So I feel that a lot of this topic today with surrender is just to help us to realize that there is a higher flow and a higher purpose to it all. And as we trust in that and we trust in our deservability and our worthiness, we trust in our health and like our right to live with freedom and with love and respect, we will be supported. The universe will support us. I promise each of you, if you start to live in alignment with your soul's highest good, you will witness the external effects of that choice. And Equally, if you choose to stay in this place of believing that you don't deserve, believing that you're less than, believing you have to earn respect or earn love, then you will create an external situation that will teach you that that's true. So there we get back to laws of attraction. And really, that's happening all the time. What we think of ourselves, the energy we put out, it is coming back to us all the time. So it's really important that we start to shift those inner thoughts and that internal dialogue to a more positive frequency. Um, I need to take a drink just a sec. It's important that we understand how deserving we are of love and that we heal the internal woundedness in ourselves. Today I had a beloved client, and she's a great friend and a client, and I truly love her. And she and I have worked together a lot. I've helped her through a lot of things, and regarding fear in particular, she's struggled with a lot of fear, and I've assisted her with, guidance on that. And she wrote me an email this morning, and I was sharing this on Facebook how she wrote to me with concern that I needed to be more modest. She was kind of commenting on the fact that she had heard women at the gym where I teach commenting about my breast size. And I was just like, whoa, really? And I'm not surprised about it because throughout my life, I've had people judge me based on just external, the way they see me. And often I used to take it really personal. I used to cry and be like, "Oh, what do I have to do to get them to like me?" And that was exhausting. I spent a lot of my 20s to, yeah, 20s to almost 30s living like that. And I don't anymore. And when I was listening to what she was sharing, I wrote her back and I said, "I really honor you." And she was just showing concern, saying, "If you want to be a healer that's taken seriously, if you want to succeed, like I feel you do." And she said she sensed I wanted to be like the next Doreen Virtue or Louise Hay and I was just like, it was interesting to observe her perspective. But what I saw was this is a human that has a lot of judgment inside of herself. She is a human that's comparing me to others and thinking that I need to be like them because these are people that she sees as spiritual. And when I was reading it, I was just like, there's no part of me that feels this is an alignment. I have never, and she told me that her angels told her that I needed to dress more modestly or I wasn't going to have a successful career. And I just say this because we have to so be careful and really tune in to what feels aligned and what feels off. And as I was reading this, it really felt off to me because, first of all, I don't feel judgmental comments like that are coming from angels. I am so tuned in. I can feel and discern energy very quickly. I do feel those comments and judgments were coming from within her, and they were connected to what she sees of her own body, how she sees herself as a woman, what she sees as beautiful, or as she said, she was concerned people would think I'm sleazy. And I was just like, wow, like that is just so far away from what I think about myself. But the reason I say this is because so many of us need to heal stuff inside of ourselves. We need to heal the woundedness of our own body image. There is nothing wrong with being a beautiful woman or a beautiful man. There's nothing wrong with having a curvy body, but there is something out of alignment of us feeling judgment towards each other because we think that someone should look a certain way, or we see these certain images and we think that for them to be success, they need to be like a clone of that image. And my response was just that I love myself, I love my body, I love my angels. I do not feel they would ever say such things, and that I am here to be the first Tawnya Love. I am not here to be a clone of Doreen Virtue or a clone of Oprah Winfrey or a clone of Louise Hay. I adore those women. I look up to them highly. I think they're amazing and powerful women. However, they're them and I am me. And so there's no part of me that feels like I need to wear a turtleneck to be taken seriously and to be heard. I feel like our beauty is something that is internal and we also can celebrate that externally. But as women really, I just feel it is time for us to love each other, and that's going to start with loving ourselves. it's time for us to be there for each other, to be each other's best friend, and to stop competing with each other, to stop feeling inadequate and insecure because we don't look like others around us, and to really just be in our own power and really love ourselves fully. And because I do love myself and I don't feel those things, what once would have triggered woundedness and would have caused me to cry or, oh gosh, I got to worry about what I'm wearing and, make sure I change that so that I could be successful. I don't give a crap. I honestly got to say, I feel that if it is my destiny to be known across this planet as a healer, then it will happen. And it's going to happen because of my heart. It's going to happen because of my connection and because of my passion and my love. And it's going to have nothing to do with my breasts. So I just felt like I really needed to say that. However, it's going to be partly because I'm who I am, and who I am is perfect, and the form that I have chosen is perfect. And I used to really struggle and think that I should dim my light, I should, cover up or whatever I needed to do so that I didn't threaten others around me or cause them insecurity. But I feel that is out of alignment. I don't feel that that's what I need to do. I feel what's more important is that we as women need to heal our woundedness. We need to heal the inner dialogue that we have about ourselves, and we need to love ourselves fully. And then we really will have the opportunity to connect deeper with those around us, the women, the men, the children. We're not going to really be able to offer as much support and beauty to others if we're not feeling beautiful and loved inside. And so the reason I say that is I just feel like that comes back to this whole self-love shift we're in, and that we're here to be who we are. We are here to fully be ourselves. So each of you watching, each of you, the only thing that you need to really focus on is being true to yourself. Be true to yourself, stay in your alignment, and shine. And share your gifts authentically. That's really our highest alignment. That's our calling. And we have for so long been pressured to play games and to perform and to put on outfits and act certain ways around certain people. I just refuse. I'm not here to dress for anybody else. I dress in the way that feels comfortable to me, and I dress in clothing I think is beautiful and that makes me feel beautiful. And I feel like I have classy style, and it's just, I have my own angelic fairiness about me. And I just feel that we each have to honor our own way of expressing because really, that's our right. The way we express, the way we speak, the way we dress, the music we play, the kind of paintings we like to paint. It's all a part of us. It's part of our soul, and it's our soul's signature. And so, if we can live more authentically and we can trust that we are loved and that we're worthy, we're good enough, and we can really trust that the entire universe wants good for us and is here to support our growth, then we can really make a difference. And I feel as we align with these things, we are going to enjoy our life much more. We're going to feel more powerful, more confident, more connected. And that is a big part of the art of surrender. We need to stop with the PowerPoint presentations and the scripted ways of connecting. And, I've got to go to the network meeting, so I got to dress in this certain way so that they'll accept me. What if we just stopped doing that? Like, what if we really just stopped worrying about everybody else and we started to be true to ourselves? And I know that the people that connect with me, those of you watching, I have felt the honor from you and that you like me and love me for me. And that is such a beautiful thing to understand and such a gift to know that the people that you're drawing in truly are coming in because they love you. If you don't stop performing and playing and putting on, costumes to get people's attention that don't even really like you for who you are, how do you expect to have more authentic experience? So it's just something to contemplate. If we want the higher loving situation, if we want the kind of people that love and honor and appreciate us for who we are, then we really need to be true to who we are. We really need to be authentic. And I love the person who wrote me this email. I honor her and I love her, and I feel that she is exactly where she needs to be in her own evolution as she's growing and processing. And so I don't have any negative feelings towards her or any judgment. I just feel it's important that I shared how I understood to handle it and what I feel we need to do for ourselves so that we can rise above judgment, so that we don't take things personally and then just get angry and attack each other. But we really can have the opportunity to grow and we can have the opportunity to express greater truth. To me, that's what it's all about. There's always some things going on in my day. How does that affect me? How did I process that? What did I do to get through that? What wisdom, what gifts and awareness came to me from it? And now, how do I share that with others? So that's just my process. And I feel that it served me well and it served many because it's helping us to connect with each other. It's helping us to be authentic. So, on that note, I would just encourage each of you to love yourselves, to really honor yourselves, to live with honor, and to be in your power. You do not have a reason to be ashamed for being beautiful. We should feel confident and we should feel, powerful and compassionate, and we have every right to feel beautiful and sexy and amazing. There's no reason to dim our shine, to dim our light because of someone else's insecurity. That time is over, and I feel we are here to step it up, to turn up the brightness, and to not be afraid to shine because it's really needed, and that shine is inspiring others to come out of the dark and to shine themselves. So, I've learned to get comfortable with this, and there's a process of patience. I feel that has been my life's journey is being very patient and waiting for people and humans around me to catch up, and that's okay. I love them. I respect where they are, but I can't go down. I can't go low and be on the ground in a lower energy in that vibration so that they're not threatened by me. And I think that's something that we each have to get comfortable with if we're ready to expand and soar. You have to get comfortable with those who will really not like that and may even try to judge you or cause you to feel scared or insecure about that, and just keep shining anyways. And on that note, is there any questions? That's right. Is there any questions, Amnon?
No questions. Kathy's
Okay.
saying, I really admire your ability to not internalize those comments. That's not an easy accomplishment.
Oh, indeed. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that's actually been a lifelong process. So, what you see happening in this moment that seems so natural came from years and years of suffering and frustration. But there comes that moment of awareness where we really know, wait a minute, I can choose. I don't have to choose to take that personally. That's not typically, here's a really easy recipe. If there's a human projecting on you lack, fear, blame, judgment, it is about them every time. And if we understand that, we can step back and observe what they're doing and realize they are telling us so much about what's going on inside of them. It has nothing to do with us, including if they're just loving and adoring us and trying to, wow us and woo us with things. That if we need to tune in because yes, people adore and really love us, but sometimes people can project it in a way to control you. So they're just like, "Oh, you're the best. I love you." And and they're really working you over and trying to schmooze you because they want to get something from you. If we can just step back and observe it, we can see what's going on inside of them, and it's about them every time. If people genuinely connect with us and they share their heartfelt feelings and their emotions and connections that are going on in them and connect it with us, that is more authentic than if they're projecting outward. So it's helped me a lot in my life's journey to realize, like, if someone goes on, like about my breasts, for example, um, she's teaching me a lot of her own belief system. She's telling me a lot about what she feels about being a woman, about showing your curves and if that's allowed or if it's unacceptable. She's teaching me a lot about her own upbringing and belief systems, like what she's had projected upon her. And I'm just observing and tuning in. So none of it needs to be taken personal because I know it's not about me. It's all her thoughts, her emotions, her feelings, what she thinks, what she thinks. And that's great. But if I take it personal and I internalize it and then I feel like I'm a bad person and I'm worrying about what I should wear, then I've let that energy of her ego, her fear, or what I refer to, what source tells me is the misalignment of another, then I let that trigger the same within myself. Now we have two misaligned energies going on. And do you see how we can get a whole planet full of these really quickly? So we have to really be mindful that we observe and step back and realize, okay, that's going on inside of them, but I love myself and I love them, and I don't need to take that personal, but I could possibly use this as an opportunity to show love, or I could possibly use this opportunity to express and inspire greater love. And that's the way I've learned to process it and just, use it as a growing opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to read you. I drew a
Uh,
card today from my animal totems.
Now wait,
Um,
wait,
and
hold it.
yeah, go ahead.
LA is saying, why is that we may know? Why is it that we may know what to do, but we don't listen to self, only to discover our intuition was correct? Why does guilt follow, knowing you know better and didn't trust yourself?
Well, and that's a great question. And I feel the most important thing in that situation is when we catch that, when we realize we've betrayed ourselves, to be very gentle with self and to forgive ourselves right away, to really clear that energy of guilt. Because the thing with guilt, guilt is a very sticky, clingy energy. And if we have guilt inside of us about anything, we perpetuate that energy and we attract more and more of that situation to us. So if we're feeling guilty about something inside, we'll just keep drawing that experience to us. So the most important thing to do is when you realize you've betrayed self, is to catch it and go, wow, I just betrayed myself and that really sucked. Like everything about that experience did not feel so good. But I caught that. I'm going to give myself credit because I am getting smarter and wiser and quicker every day, and that ego has no power over me. And we can kind of have a sense of humor about it and realize, you know what, ego, go sit down. You're not in charge of my life. I'm going to forgive myself. I love myself, and I am getting better at this every day. I am on it. Like my intuition is spot on. I actually say these things now, and I really feel the I am statements are really powerful. And so I now will say things like, I am amazingly intuitive. I am so accurate. I have a built in truth detector. I can feel misalignment instantly. I am so connected with source. And so as I say these statements, I am stepping into alignment. I am in the light. I am one with source, and I am discerning energy because I'm choosing it. I'm not trying to. I'm not wishing someday I could. I'm not feeling guilty because I didn't before. Those are all energies that keep you dancing around the vortex of alignment. You're just dancing around it. And to step in is the I am statement. I am aligned. I am intuitive. I am powerful. I am wise. I am aware. So using those statements can be really powerful and clearing the guilt. That's why I help so many clients, and I'm here to help any of you who are ready, whether it be in person or remotely, because I'm here to help you so that you will be true to self. And I've helped the client that's asking this question, her and I've worked together, and I just help them to see the unconscious patterns. There's these energetic patterns that we have going on. And if we're to rise above, we need to clear those unconscious patterns. And working with a healer like myself, that's our specialty. We love nothing more than to help a client and a soul see where the misalignment is so that they can heal it, so that they can come into alignment and they can step into their power. Because when I help a client and they listen and they trust the angels, the angelic guidance that comes through, and they put it into motion, their lives change in beautiful ways. And to me, that's the most amazing thing I could have ever assisted with on this planet. So really the clearing of the guilt so important, and then loving self, being gentle with ourself, that's so important. And that recipe will get you to the place where one day you would not think of betraying yourself again because you understand how much your self love is important to not only your own life, but to the lives of so many that you'll connect with. That alignment is your most important focus. So I hope that helps you. So I'm going to read you a card. I drew can't talk, animal totem card, and I've drawn it 3 times this week, so it is definitely our card. And Eagle Spirit, I will have to tell you all a story about the eagle someday and the connection with my father, who is in spirit. He's one of my spirit guides, and so I'll show you the card. Hopefully, you guys can see that. But it's eagle, and it's the words connected with it are vision, freedom, authority, and inspiration. And as I'm reading this, I want you to really open your hearts and your minds, maybe close your eyes, and listen to what I'm reading to you as a direct message from Source to you. So don't think of it as just vague, random stuff Tanya's reading. Open your heart and really listen to the words and let them come in to serve you and connect with you personally. Okay? So, eagle. Great sky keeper, bridger of heaven and earth, vision maker for the new dawn. Native American lore tells the legend of the thunderbird, a mighty winged one whose eyes shot forth with piercing bolts of lightning and whose massive beating wings summoned the rain into the sky. Standing 3 feet tall in the body, with a 7-foot wingspan and eyesight up to 7 times more powerful than our own, Eagle flies higher than any other bird and embodies the essence of the great thunderbird even today. To many First Nation peoples, such as the Aztecs, Mayans, and Pueblo Indians, eagles symbolize the rising sun. Known as the sacred messenger from heaven and the eye of the sun, eagle brings the gift of expanded perception and celestial power, carrying prayers to the Creator and returning with a vision for the path ahead. The Celts honored eagle as an ally to water, with her unique ability to see into the depths, with the great clarity from above. When being courted by a prospective life partner, the female eagle flies up with an object, such as a stick, in her talons, and drops it, watching to see if her male suitor will be committed and fast enough to dive down and catch it before it lands. She knows this daring feat may need to be repeated live with her offspring one day, should they falter in their steps from the nest. If the courtship is successful, they will mate in similar fashion, mid-dive between heaven and earth. Seen by many as the chief of all winged ones, eagles' daily habits share a deep connection with each of the elements of air, water, earth, fire, and wood. The message. When eagle soars into your skies, she brings with her the gift of freedom, born of the courage to see beyond all limitation. Eagle comes to awaken the visionary in you. She calls you to the high place of your purest dreaming. She comes to remind you that you did not come here to be tangled or suppressed by life. You did not come here to be weighed down by the details of your day-to-day, but to rise with the breath of your great spirit, to stretch your heart and vision beyond what may have once seemed realistic or appropriate, into the wide open field of all possibility. Eagle medicine brings the power to build a bridge between your greatest aspiration and your current reality. Eagle knows there is a time to perch, a time to study from afar, a time to soar above, and a time to dive with great focus toward that which you are seeking. As you prepare to embark upon a new life change or creative endeavor, take time first to bring yourself to higher ground. Breathe in the mountain breezes that give birth to lofty visions. With Eagle's view, you will see with great clarity not only the field of infinite possibilities before you, but also what actions are needed to realize your vision. And with this clarity comes the energy and inspiration to claim all that is your dreaming, and more. Move with Eagle's power and grace, and you will find the great heights can be reached with ease while maintaining a grounded connection here on earth. And the affirmation is, from the mountaintop of my being, I see a world of infinite possibility. I open my wings, I let go of limits, my great spirit lifts me higher. I bring visions of heaven back to earth. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with each of you. I feel Eagle and I are one. I am definitely expanding my wings and here to help inspire each of you to soar to greater heights and to know that you definitely deserve the best life has to offer. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to have any assistance with me as either a soul coach or an intuitive healer, contact me and I would be so grateful to help you. Is that an eagle? Is that
Yep.
a little squeaking you just added, Amnon?
Yeah.
So, yeah, contact me if you would like any further assistance. You can reach me on my website, which I believe is right here, or through Facebook under Tawnya Love. So, if you want to email me, I believe just go to TanyaAngel555.com and you can connect with me there. And I wish you all the best this week and just really be true to yourselves. I would love to hear from you all next week if you want to call in and share testimonies or share stories of your experience as you practiced living in alignment and being true to self. So I will hold you accountable. Tune in next week and let's connect again. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Namaste.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tawnya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.